All right, everybody, coming up on the stretch today, we obviously talk about the Cubs White Sox series. Dave's going to be upset with PCA for yelling at a woman. We're going to talk about the Bears schedule, amongst other things. We're going to get to it here in a second. Before we do, though, this episode is brought to you by No Bull, Barstool's favorite footwear brand. No Bull is a brand known for the best-in-class footwear, and they're everywhere right now. Walking around Chicago at the airport, grabbing coffee, wherever I go. They've got so many great styles and colors. But we've been loving their daily runner, the Journey 2. This is Noble's daily running shoe with an emphasis on comfort, support, and dependability. Soft where you want, structured where you need. Take it outside. You can run or walk. The Journey 2s are made to move your way. I obviously, if you follow us on social media, we were in Atlanta for a wedding. I wore my Nobles to the airport. I wore them all weekend. They were super comfortable, traveled around, no problem. Saw them all over the airport. It was great. And exclusively for Stretch listeners, Noble is offering 35% off your first order. Visit nobullproject.com. Use code STRETCH for 35% off your entire first order. That's www.nobullproject.com. Use code STRETCH for 35% off. Go get your Noble, people. We cannot recommend it enough. And on that note, too, Dave, you were down there. I saw you were doing, what were you doing on the lake?
What do you mean doing?
Like, what were you were, yeah, like, were you water skiing or were you just swimming or you,
No, I was just wading around, just enjoying the water. I was in the canoe, playing fetch with the dogs. It was great.
I know you sent us a picture. I did notice it looked like you had a nice ice cold Mountain Dew.
You are correct, Ed. I was pounding Mountain Dew this weekend. There's something about Mountain Dew and being in the heat that makes it the most refreshing drink of all time.
It
Like
is
if,
not,
if it's 85 plus degrees out and you got the like UV rays just pounding your face, Mountain Dew is the drink for you.
We
yeah,
were probably a stone's throw from where Mountain Dew was created.
We probably drove through it, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I
Or you
did. You
did.
guys flew, but yeah,
yeah,
I probably drove through it. Foothills of Tennessee, I believe, is what they said, right, Ed?
yes, sir. You got it. Nothing goes better with a lake day and hanging with your friends and a refreshing citrus kick of
Hmm.
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew was probably born in the foothills of Tennessee, like you just said, Dave. So I really do bet that you drove through it. So
Yeah, I definitely did. It was beautiful country.
enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew, an American original. If you're going on that road trip, if you're going on vacation, make sure you stop at the store, you buy some Mountain Dew, load up your cooler. So, Rabbit Dew, tasting great since 1948. All right, like I said, we're going to do some bear schedule, but we're on Zoom as well, by the way. If we sound a little different, if we look a little different, obviously they're filming Surviving Barstool, so this is kind of going to be an old school Zoom episode. Although we never
Like
really
it's COVID again.
yeah, but we only did a few of those. We were always in studio, but regardless, Dave, you could kick us off here. Let us have Sox took 2 out of 3. You could let us have it.
The White Sox are back. It is that was the most fun I've had watching baseball, and I couldn't even really focus on it because we had the wedding, obviously. Friday night, we had the welcome party. Cubs obviously kind of teabagged the Sox a little bit. You and I spoke at the wedding, and you're like, the Sox cannot get swept. And that was what I was worried about. Obviously, they took game 2, and then game 3 yesterday was one of I was driving. Like an idiot, we switched every 3 hours for the 12-hour drive. So my portion of the drive was during the game. I should have flipped it. So I had it on my lap and I was watching it as I was driving. It's still the most fun I've had watching a baseball game in a long time. It's not that it was even the Cubs and Sox, obviously, that added to it. It was just a playoff type atmosphere for the White Sox for the first time in 5 years. That
But
was
it was a playoff type atmosphere in May because it was Cubs and Sox.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
But like I haven't had that experience in a long time.
no
And I'm
doubt.
like sitting there fist bumping on 65 North and everything. It was an awesome weekend of baseball. The rivalry is fully engulfed in flames again. And I couldn't be more
Well,
excited. Oh my God.
Ed,
See, I love
Ed,
this shit. I love this shit so much.
well,
I love this shit so much because Cubs fans, I saw tweets or Chiefs little tweet yesterday. I can't wait to deal with banana bread. Like, you guys losing that series yesterday, it drove you guys nuts. It
Dave,
drove you guys nuts, and that
Dave,
was worse
No,
than
no, no,
losing a
no,
series.
no,
That
no,
was worse
no.
than losing a series to Milwaukee or St. Louis this time of year. It wouldn't have had the same type of reaction that it did, and you guys will not admit it, but it is the absolute truth.
No,
Absolute.
it felt like a big series. I was delayed in the airport watching it on my phone. And like when Conforto went yard, I was like, "Oh, let's go."
I knew that.
Like,
I knew he was going yard. Anytime that
well,
closer
hold
walks
on.
the leadoff
Hold on a
hitter,
second. I want to address your previous point before we start getting into the game. So I was excited. It did feel like an elevated thing, especially because the Sox won on Saturday and you got people in your mentions. It's fun. I'm glad that
It's
the
awesome.
Sox are not just this lowly, pathetic, lose 100 games a year. It comes because they're good. It does feel like, yeah, you're right. Because you only play, 6 times a year, sometimes 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And this is the first time where both teams have been over 500 since 2008.
Which is wild.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
And it's not like you guys are taking like a victory like I've never seen. My only thing with, it did feel bigger. It was fun. We're in a different position because we do have to look and talk it with you the next day. So banana bread boy already cut me off 6 times. He's all fired up. He's full of piss and vinegar because you won a series in May. Yeah, that part's annoying. So it does feel bigger and it's more at stake or whatever. But I'm glad both teams are actually relevant for the first time since we've been doing this show.
It's so refreshing. Selfishly, it's good for us because it gives us something to talk about aside from just constant, like on my end at least, just constant agony and pain. But that I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Why?
I don't believe you. I'm pointing at Ed's window. I don't believe Lance. I don't believe Connor Burns. I don't believe anybody in the entire Cubs fan base.
Dave,
all I heard all weekend.
What did I say?
All I heard all weekend was this was the White Sox Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And I know that it is killing you guys that the Cubs lost that series. And not only that they lost that series, how they lost that series.
It's not. It's really not. I swear to you.
Ed,
I would have preferred to win.
Ryan, Ed, you're mad. You're angry.
I'm not.
You're angry.
I'm not. I'm truly not.
Angry?
I'm not. I'm not angry at all.
Peeved, annoyed.
Yeah.
No. Truly, Dave. I'm really not, and that's where I think we're getting mistaken here. Is I'm happy because, like you said, for the last however many years, the White Sox fans would walk in there with their shirt, dragging behind them, begrudgingly to the stadium. They didn't want to be there. They knew how bad they were. They were horrible. They were a joke of a friend. I understand. And I'm happy that the South Side is starting to become rejuvenated. And I think that's good for Chicago. Like I said, I'm sure you saw my tweet yesterday. I love that interaction between that fan and PCA.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
That's gonna fan the flames. I'm not mad. Now listen. Here's where I'm at. I'm at the phase where I'm starting to get to the point where I will get mad again.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not there yet.
That's fair.
The White Sox still have a lot to do to play themselves into that.
Yes, totally. And I think that's where a lot of the excitement came from this weekend because the White Sox, they just beat up on the Angels a little bit. They lost 2 or 3 to them, but the series before that, they beat up on them. They've been kind of bum slaying a little bit, but this was a good measuring stick of where the White Sox actually are this series. It was the first top 5 team that they've played. And I mean, you look at them position by position obviously the Cubs are in a different place. Like you said, the White Sox are far, far, far from a complete team right now. But I mean, the top end of both of those teams are the White Sox might have the better players right now. They really might. I think Miguel Vargas is quietly becoming maybe the best player in all of Chicago on both teams. He absolutely kills the Cubs, has the last 2 years at least. Colson Montgomery on his left side infield mate is awesome. Chase, this is what the White Sox have done this year. They have put together a perfect blend of power and scrap. And they have a bunch of guys with insanely high baseball IQ with Sam Antonacci that goes into the scrap. But like I was saying, if you take the top 5 or 7 or 8 players on both teams and just go position by position, I think the White Sox have the better player at a lot of those positions right now. And it's exciting for me. It's super exciting. And to go back to
can I give you an analogy of where I think this rivalry is?
Sure.
Do you remember Caleb Williams' rookie year? We went up to Lambeau, and they were already in the playoffs, and they're the perennial division leader, and it still feels like a big game. The Bears had the miracle comeback, and they win, and we walk out of there feeling pretty good, even though we just had like another losing season. But you could tell that the arrow was up.
Yep.
And that, to me, is where this is right now, where it's like, you guys are scrappy. You got something cooking for sure.
Definitely.
But it has been in many different ways a one-sided rivalry. And I think, when the Packers fans were like, kind of like congratulations, like they weren't really mad on the way out of that game. That's kind of how I feel. I'm a little bit annoyed. The people on Twitter who are in my mentions now for, 18 hours straight, I'm kind of smiling at it. It's like, all right, like, let's go. Like, I love hate. Dave, you know how much I love hate.
I just kindred spirits.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't feel it yet. Like, I'm kind of like wanting them to be more relevant and good, and like I want more games like.
Okay,
this.
what? Let me ask you this, both of you guys. And this goes for all Cubs fans. You guys can chime in on Twitter and whatever. What will have to happen for there to be a sincere hatred?
I think, listen, let's see what happens when we get to August. Are the White Sox still going to be around? Right? Like, I think that's first and foremost. How long can the White Sox keep this up?
Yeah, like this can't be the best memory of the 2026 season.
No. And
like if it is, then I don't really hate you.
I think that's fair. I don't think this will be. I think this will be one of the good memories from the 2026 season. Now, I'm very excited about the White Sox. They're playing outstanding baseball right now, but when I take a few steps back, I know that they're still far away at the same time. So I'm trying to temper like expectations moving forward through the rest of the 100 or so games they have left to play. But I really don't think that there's anything really that fluky about this, the last 3 weeks at least. Murakami has settled in. Obviously, he's like, even when he goes into his slumps, he's going to be getting on base 4 out of 10 times. Colson Montgomery, even when he goes into slumps, he's still going to be hitting the ball. He might be going in.
He's fucking awesome.
A 3 for 25 slump, but he's going to have a couple home runs because that's what he does. He's going to hit 40 home runs perennially. Chase Meidroth is just like perfect little slap the ball all over guy. Sam Antonacci, I think, has 8 hit by pitches in 20 games. Like he has mastered the art of getting hit by pitch while he's down in the count. And that is something that like is from 50 years ago. Players used to do that. It's such a throwback. And like I said, they have the perfect blend of mash and scrap, and they have reinforcements on the way. Their outfield's been kind of ass, and their catching position, aside from yesterday, Edgar Caro, has been kind of ass. Kyle Teals is on the way. Braden Montgomery is completely lighting it up in AAA right now, and he's a top 20 prospect. And so there's 2 more guys, and offensively, they've been one of the best teams in baseball. I looked this morning. They have the 7th best offensive WAR per Fangraphs in all of baseball right now.
Yeah,
I'm not coming from a point of to diminish the Chicago White Sox right now. I think, listen, that for a Cubs fan, I probably watched as much White Sox as a lot of people. Okay. Yeah. I was invested in the last rebuild. We sat there a year ago at Wrigley, and I remember literally looking at Vargas at third base. We were sitting on third base line and being like, that guy fucking
looks like, right.
He's a guy.
You don't got to sell me on Vargas. You don't got to sell me on your whole infield. I think you guys are really good, but Dave, 8 weeks in to say that you take this lineup over the Cubs is a little.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. You said
they would have. You said that they would have the better player at a lot of positions.
Oh, that's exactly what I said. I didn't say that they have the better. Okay, so let's do it. First base.
Okay,
I'm asking you guys. First base.
Right now, you're taking the rookie. Okay.
Obviously. Okay.
But let's acknowledge it's 8 weeks into the year.
Sure. But that's what I do acknowledge that. There will be skids where they lose 5-6 in a row, I'm sure. But like I said, Murakami is, I don't want to call him slump proof, but he's like, being a bad offensive player proof, if that makes sense, because he's going to continually get on base even when he's not pounding the ball.
Even when he's striking out at 40% of the
exactly,
yeah,
he's still going to be getting on base. So like I'm not worried about there being extended periods of bad baseball for the duration of this season. Like I think they've played about 50 games. I think that's a sufficient enough sample size where you can say this is who they are. Now they've won like the 7 of 8 games. They're not going to win it this current pace for the rest of the year. Obviously, there's going to be ebbs and flows, but like over the course of 162, I do think that they're a top 10 offense, but their bullpen not great. Yeah. Starting pitching not great. Depth not great. Those are still 3 things, but you got a trade deadline where you can add. You got a ton of middle infield depth. You got Caleb Bonnemer down in high 8, absolutely raking. You got Jacob Gonzalez, who was a first-round pick 2 years ago, who's got the more RBIs and home runs than anybody in AAA right now. They don't have spots for those guys. So you can deal from a surplus to, to add to your lineup where you have holes. Like eventually they're going to just waive Benintendi or just get rid of him. He's gonzo probably sometime mid-late season. So they're going to continually get better is my thing. In theory.
Listen, baseball is it's a stupid fucking regular season. We get overreactionary for a thing that is 162 games. Yeah. The Cubs rattled off 10 wins in a row twice this year.
Twice.
People are saying they stink because they lost 3 series in a row. They don't.
We don't stink. And like Michael Bush is the Murakami Bush debate. Like Bush is not going to be like this the whole year. Like he's gonna he'll figure it out. I got to go back. To Dave's last point, though, I'm starting to worry for you, Dave, where it's like we can deal from a surplus. We can go and add. Jerry Reinsdorf is still your owner.
I understand that.
I'm don't get sucked back in all the way until Ishbia is here because they will break your heart. I saw you like maybe a week ago calling for adding, and I don't disagree that is like you. It seems like you do have a pretty loaded farm system, and you have not enough places for all these players that are looking pretty good. That is what a rational big market team that's on the rise would do. You are still the Chicago White Sox despite having a good 8 weeks. So don't get lost in like your what they should do. It's still Jerry's team. They're not going to do that.
You are correct. How many games did I think the White Sox were going to lose this year?
100.
100. Now, with this start, and I don't even want to call it a start because they started horribly. They started and they were pathetic right off the rip, and obviously that's
6 weeks.
But the way I see this season, it's complete house money. So, like, if they make the playoffs and get curb stomped by the Yankees or something, that is a complete.
It's amazing.
And this, to me, like, I know this is hypocritical because I've long said, especially being a fan of a Jerry Reinsdorf ran team, that I hate that teams lose intentionally. Like, I'm so over that. And the goal should be World Series or bust every year for at least 25 of the 30 teams. And the White Sox are not that. So it's hypocritical to me to say that I'd be happy with them to just get there, because that's not my expectation. I expect you to try to win the World Series every single year. That's
you would be ahead of schedule.
They are very ahead of schedule right now. And I never really got on Chris Getz because he's working with the hands that he's been dealt, but credit to him for putting together a great blend. And going back to the last core, that was like the worst possible blend of characters and personalities and douchebags and prima donnas that you could possibly have. This is the exact opposite. You got guys that are first round draft picks. You got guys that were Rule 5 draft picks, and they're all pulling from the same rope, and it's been awesome to watch and so refreshing.
And was it 2 springs ago when we sat down with Gatz when he first got the job?
Mm-hmm.
He kind of laid all that out where it's like, we got to get rid of some of the character stuff. We want to have high IQ players. We want to have guys that love baseball, that want to show up here and work and get better. We want to have good people like that. Like he recognized that the culture was awful and trash. And that's why, like last year, coming out of that before last season, I was like, I'm kind of buying, Chris, and like I was like a year off, but like it took him, you can't just do a teardown in your first off season and get everything right. It feels like he had a vision and a plan for a way to put together a competent baseball team, sort of short term. And then you have the Montgomerys and the Rock-Chalowskis and all these. Yeah, who's the guy who's double your height that we had, the Noah Schultz. And
yeah.
So like they have like this plan, and it's coming together. And like I said, like I want to hate the White Sox, but right now I'm just kind of like,
it's a simmering.
Eddie, like our guy is back. Like, it's nice. And it's like, I think back to like Redline Radio at the Jewel Osco, and it's like, he's coming to the South Side, brother. And now I'm, and it's like, it's obviously that didn't happen. Talk about Bryce Harper, but you were excited.
I was grasping at fucking Sir Anthony Dominguez yesterday, making $20 million. That's how much I want to, like that's how much I want to be sitting here talking shit. Like that's the goal, And I think, when is it going to get there? Like August is a premium baseball month,
Yeah.
Like, you really kind of know where you're at. You look ahead at the schedule. So I think that series at Wrigley has a potential to be fucking awesome.
I'm very excited. I do too. And the White Sox aren't going away, and they're not going away because of the division. Not because of the division.
That's a key factor. That
in
division
part
is
because of the division. Horrible.
Like you might be able to get to the playoffs with like 84 wins in that division.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, and that'd be a year ahead of schedule, and they would have to add around them, though. To your point, Chief, it's still a Jerry Reinsdorf operation.
I have a question, though.
Yeah,
I know it's hard to come up and be like an impact rookie, in a pennant
typically
race. Okay, but can they add around them with the guys that are in AAA and AA, and I feel like, and you obviously know way more about the system than I do, but they're a year ahead of schedule, and like you said, that's bonus or gravy or whatever. You can't go out and try to be a buyer just to have a little taste. Like you kind of have to have like the discipline to have the guardrails up, because let's say like you do make the playoffs where you fall just short, and then next year you're really like the expectations are to win that division. You got to have the chips for it then. Like you have to be able to be like, we have to be ready for deadline 2027, and we fucking blew our nut on trying to scrape into the playoffs in 2026. Like that's something like when I see your tweets about it, and it's like I have a similar mindset because I've been going through the long rebuild with the Blackhawks too, where it's like, I do kind of looking back, like maybe that Bedard injury was the best thing that ever happened, because it just like pushed him out of the conversation for the wild card, and you're not rushing, and now you have the ammo for this summer or next deadline.
While I agree with you, I'm not talking about, first of all, in baseball, every team's prospect hoarding still. So like if you're a top 20, 25 prospect, unless you're being traded for like a megastar who's on his, who hasn't signed an extension yet, who isn't getting paid anything, then you're probably not getting dealt. So I'm not talking about trading necessarily Caleb Bonham or any of these bigger name guys, or eventually Rock-Chalowski or Billy Carlson. I'm saying that, like, I'm looking at the Dylan Cease trade from a couple years ago when the Sox shipped him over to San Diego. They got back Drew Thorpe, who was MLB Prospects number 85 prospect at the time. He has hardly pitched for the Sox. He's been out the last year and a half with elbow surgery. Sam Savala, who's been better this year in AA. And then a relief pitcher and a dude named Steven Wilson, the reliever, who is out of baseball right now. Hold on, I'm not done. If you are looking to buy at the deadline, there are players that should be available that are top of the rotation, middle of the order type bats, top of the rotation type arms that won't cost an arm and a leg in prospect capital to acquire. But maybe they have a large contract, but the White Sox have the 29th payroll in baseball right now. And if there's a player out there that fits the timeline, fits the chemistry of the team from a clubhouse perspective, who fits in the positionally, then there should be no question about it that they will go out there and they will go get that player. I don't know who that player is yet, but there's like money shouldn't matter.
Hey, Dave.
Especially with all the money they're making.
Dave, don't do this to yourself.
I know.
Don't do it to yourself.
I know.
I think you need to hope that Jerry Reinsdorf is awoken by this team. You need to hope that it is Whoville and Chase Mydroth is going to win over the Grinch, and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm fucking 80 whatever years old. I'm selling.
I can't take the money with me.
I'm selling this team in 4 years. Ishbia is going to have to pay the back end of this bill. That's the only kind of hope you have when it comes.
How much? I mean, that guy with the stadium full in May. And he's got the 29th payroll. He's probably just sitting there with cash registers dinging in his ears, falling asleep. Like that's his sound machine at night. I got a decent team with a 29th payroll. This is a wet dream for Jerry Reinsdorf. He hasn't had a wet dream in 80 years. And this, he fucking loves the way this is going. There's no way. This is what he's going to be like. Oh, I was right all along. You can do it with the 29th overall.
But that's the only hope. Like that it goes that way. Like you gotta have, if you don't have hope, like that's why
you almost need Ishbia to come in and be like, Jerry, like I'll pay cash for it. Like now, if there's let's say there's an outfielder that they can go get that he's got a $22 million nut. He's like, I will personally put up the money. It's like that scene in Moneyball, where he's like, where Brad Pitt's like, tell him like I'll pay for him personally, and he's like, just to get the deal done. I feel like Ishbia needs to step in and drop that line, like I'll pay for him. So let's get to the playoffs.
One thing about Ishbia that's been kind of awesome so far is he just pops into the stadium. Now he hasn't done any media at all since since his name and the White Sox have kind of coincided with each other. But he pops into the stadium a lot and people just kind of snipe pictures of him. And there was one burner account the other day that was sitting next to him in the scout seats. And take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is actually true or not. Obviously, I wasn't there to see it, but he said that Murakami just went yard and the guy looks at Ishbia and goes, are you guys going to let him walk? And he goes, not under my watch. And that was all the tweet said. And obviously I have no idea if that's true or not. If I don't even know if Ishbia legally contractually can do that. I don't know the ins and outs of their agreement. If he can infuse cash it directly into the roster. I hope he can. And if Jerry Reinsdorf had any soul at all, he would be like, yeah, man, go and get that $25 million a year player or whatever. But here's the thing though. If they didn't add that player at the deadline, I wouldn't be angry either.
Yeah.
It has to be a perfect fit. I know this is going to sound insanely crazy, but I truly do think Mike Trout could be that player. I don't think that he would cost an arm and a leg. And 29th overall payroll. All
right, let's
I know. But we have to, before we get to Bears and all that other stuff, we have to talk about PCA.
I want to make 2 points. But my first point before we get to PCA, because PCA is the sun. He is the tastemaker. He kind of makes all this work.
Yes.
Yeah.
If this rivalry gets cooking, PCA is at the head of the altar, no question.
Yeah.
But real quick before we get into him, it sucks that they're going to the West Coast. I saw your tweet, Dave, and I don't want to make this an attendance thing because that's old, lame, and played out. But I really, if they have a good week this week, the White Sox, I really want to see how they draw the following week because they got the Twins for 4 and then the Tigers on the weekend. That's prime. The weather's turning. I really that's really gonna tell me how much White Sox fans are really bought back in.
I was gonna bring up the exact same point. That's why I looked up the schedule tonight because I'm like, oh, are they home? I'll go tonight. Like, I don't got nothing to do. And then they're in Seattle again for the third time. I was bitching to Chief about this like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, they've been on the West Coast constantly, which sucks because I go to bed at 8 p.m. and that they start at 8:40 now. But I agree with you. I do think there will be an uptick. They're not going to be selling out, they're not going to be drawing 30,000 a game or anything, but I do think there will be, 4, 5, 6, 8,000 uptick, especially on weekends and Saturday games moving forward, because it's such a fun team to root for. Like, Murakami's obviously a draw in and of himself, Japanese dude, pounds the ball. He's character, goofy dude in the clubhouse and everything. Sam Antonacci is just doing all this insane shit every single day, like fake tags and diving for, like, they have a lot of fun players, a lot of guys that are really, really easy to root for. That's almost a backhanded compliment too. And I like calling someone scrappy. That means that they're not very good, but they like get the most out of themselves,
Yeah.
They're good on top of being scrappy, which makes them as fun to root for as they are,
Yeah.
Like
they're
good
a high
baseball
effort,
player.
high IQ guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I still have many qualms with the organization itself, but this 26, man, obviously it's been more than that with shuffling players in and out, trying to find the proper blend this year. Like, these guys, they get it. I love them.
Yeah.
I love this. I love these players top to bottom. Like, even Tristan Peters yesterday, a banana baller hitting the 3-run bomb. Step up. Like, he stepped up. Caro stepped up. Like, they're getting it from all angles right now, and it's such a refreshment.
Let's get into PCA.
Okay, I do just like we'll know exactly what the White Sox are in 2 weeks. I feel like because they're not so like none of the teams are playing. Like the Mariners haven't really got to go, and the Giants are 7 games under. The Twins and the Tigers,
the
both
Scooble's out. Yeah,
both stink. So like they could actually, if they have like a good 2 weeks,
they could separate a little bit.
They could be in first place by like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, and they know that too. Their goal internally is playoffs. And that should be the goal every year. Obviously, from a fan's perspective, we can see things differently, but they think that they're going to make the playoffs, and that's their goal, and they're hell bent on it. And it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm sweating here just sitting and talking it.
And PCA.
I mean, listen. Like, I really do believe that. Like, if this, like, listen, both teams can be good, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a fun rivalry.
Right.
But he's the guy. He's the hateable figure for White Sox fans. Listen, like it or not, obviously Nico Hoerner is the best player on this team, but PCA has become the face of it.
Yeah, he is.
He is. So
he's the straw.
Exactly. I don't think anyone I don't think the three of us have a problem with that interaction, right? Did I read that right? Or do any of you like Matt?
0. I love it. Like, I have it. My issues with PCA aren't with PCA himself. It's with how Cubs fans put him on this pedestal that he's like some superstar player when he's only proven that over a course of 250 at-bat stretch one time in his career this far. That's where my like ire comes from.
Bro, you guys are putting him on a pedestal too. It wasn't just the clip with the woman. There was one when he was on the on-deck circle and people are making like chirping about his mom.
Yeah.
Where she's like a few rows over, like she's in the stadium.
And so, I love it.
You're a fucking scumbag for that. You can't go after somebody's mom.
Fuck you.
Like,
yes, you can.
You're not going after Nico Hoerner's mom. Like, you guys are you're more obsessed with PCA than Cubs fans are.
No, we're not.
Yes.
We're obsessed.
Yes, you are.
First of all,
you're going after like the 8 or 9 hitter. Why is that?
Because he is brought up like he's a middle of the order, like perennial MVP.
You guys fucking hate him. You guys hate him, and it has nothing. And it's because his personality. That's what it is.
Sure. But like here, I love his personality. It's just that I root for the other team, so
you're obligated to hate it.
I'm obligated to hate it. But like if he played for the White Sox, I would be like Jon Snow with the sword at the Battle of the Bastards,
Yeah.
So I get that from Cubs perspectives. It's just like that was such a perfect interaction because She talks shit. He talks shit back. They went their separate ways. And if he gets fined 1 cent or suspended 1 game, that is a travesty.
And
And
here's the thing. I get it. If you don't like his verbiage and like, fine. Like there is a line to this shit. Like, and I don't think the line was overstepped. To be honest, like
No.
I'm not saying that, but there is a line to this shit. Like I do say I love it, but like going after his mom, like whatever. That's so old school. Like, now, I mean, I wouldn't do it, but it is what it is. I don't think there.
Your mom a joke.
Yeah, like I don't think it was that vicious for it to become. But like obviously there is a line. Like let's.
But I think that
establish
those are the ones that were caught on camera that were shared. There's no doubt in my mind he's been getting it for 72 straight hours. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like eventually
and guess what's going to happen at every stadium not named Wrigley Field for the rest of his career based on this weekend's interactions? You think Cardinals or Brewers or Reds or Pirates fans see that and are like, oh, we're just going to let him off the hook for this? They're going to see that and they're going to sink their meaty claws into it too. So we'll see how he rebounds, because he's going to be getting this from literally all angles moving forward, as he should, because he opened up the floodgates with his reactions and chirping back. Like, if he would have never said anything, it would have just died out and like people wouldn't be doing it, you know?
Oh, listen, like he's leaned into this. Like his
and that's what I love. I love that he leans into it.
Yeah, Dodgers fans hate him. Like he is definitely played the role of a villain for opposing teams, no doubt about it. And that's good. Like that's good. And listen, I still love him. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's hitting the 8-hole right now. He's a fucking plus defender. I think his bat will be better than it has been. He's a star though. Like, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I
baseball needs more guys like this.
Yeah. I agree.
He fit in like a glove in the World Baseball Classic. Like he proved that he should be there. Like the guy's good. The PCA AAA jokes and whatever, that's a little bit. And I know it's just for banter, and it's just a way to
that gets under his skin more than anything, though.
Sure, but like you acknowledge, he's better than fucking that. Like he's a good ball player.
He is.
I don't want to get that twisted.
He is an outstanding baseball player. He is going to be a 5-win player for a long time, for probably a decade, assuming that his offense doesn't go to complete and total hell. But he's been pretty average since his bad start this year, which is basically all you need out of him, being in the 8 or 9 hole, or bottom third of the lineup at least. But I love to hate PCA. And there's a lot of people. I had the troll tweet yesterday after Peters went yard. Peters better than PCA. And there's a million Cubs fans saying, oh, I bet you wouldn't say this to his face if he came on the stretch like next time. I promise you that should PCA come into Barstool Chicago and on the stretch specifically, I will sit there and I will tell him that I love hating him. I love hating his guts, and that he needs to pick it up offensively to be considered a superstar in my book. I will tell him that to his face. And my last note on PCA is Ryan was talking about the video from when he was on the On Deck Circle, the Tinkerbell nickname for opposing fans. I want Busch Field or Busch Stadium Cardinals fans, the next time PCA and the Cubs are down in St. Louis, I want the entire stadium chanting Tinkerbell. The entire stadium chant. It's the same thing in Milwaukee. Same thing. It doesn't matter where they're playing. LA. We'll see how he rebounds after all of this shit kind of settles, because the pressure's on now. People are calling him soft. They're saying that he's got thin skin, that he can't handle pressure. We'll see.
I'll be fine. And then one last point before we move on to Bears, because obviously this was heavy White Sox. They won the series, so it should be. But Phil Matan sucks. We can't keep trotting Rolison out there. Our bullpen is becoming a problem. I know Kittredge isn't having a good year. He's actually having a bad year, but I sure miss him and Brad Keller. Like I talked about in the offseason, like those were some guys I've come to trust. And I know this is Jed's motto. Like he'll find guys kind of off the scrap heap and make it work. And he's done a great job at doing it. But it's been frustrating 3 weeks. That's all I'll say.
How many times?
I never need to see Madden again. Like
how old is he now?
I don't know. He looks young, But I was at the game where he blew it, and the Cubs came back and won. But he is the ultimate your butthole gets tight as soon as you see him run out because you're just like this is gonna at minimum it's gonna be an adventure and you're probably gonna give up some runs.
He was as bad as he was this year. He's in extreme DFA territory.
Yeah,
he's got a 10
stinks.
ERA and a 2 WHIP.
It's bad, but that's April and May. You kind of figure out who's going to be there and who's not, and I think the Cubs they're going to have to make a move for some bullpen.
Yeah. But like you guys say, you can find guys on the margins that will improve your bullpen overnight. But I mean, eventually you're not going to roll red the entire 10 straight times. Maybe he does.
That's true.
Few guys and they don't work out. Like a bullpen. We've seen it in the last 10 years, specifically when the Royals went to the back-to-back World Series. Teams want short starts in the playoffs. They want to shorten the game, and they want those dominant relievers. So I would imagine they'll attack that by July, but it's bad right now on both sides. So the Sox bullpen stinks too. Hicks and Dominguez are trash.
Shout out to Ben Brown too. I mean, a lot of Cubs fans left him for dead, and he's really rebounded when we needed him. It sucks. We're down Boyd, obviously down Steele, Horton. The Cubs rotation is just in shambles, but thankfully we got it.
Thank God Shota picked up his option.
I know, for real. For real. All right, anything else? Good to get in the Bear schedule?
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
It was nice.
I enjoyed baseball talk today. First time in a minute.
Before we get into it, though, I want to talk about Shopify, boys. Listen, starting something new isn't just hard, it's terrifying. So much work goes into this thing that you're not entirely sure it'll work out. And it can be hard to make that leap of faith. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Accelerate your efficiency, whether you're uploading new products or trying to improve existing ones. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping, to processing, returns, and beyond. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/stretch. Go to shopify.com/stretch. That's shopify.com/stretch. All right. What were you going to say, Dave? Sorry.
I don't know.
All right. So listen, quick observations. I know there's always banter about the schedule release. I just need a fucking grid line by line to see this stuff. I hate waiting for the video, and I hate some of these layouts that have it. They just give you the date. They don't give you the day. It's so fucking annoying. But regardless, the biggest takeaway for me is clearly the primetime standalone situation.
What, you mean the 3 in a row?
Yes. Yeah. Listen, and if you
knew that was coming
for sure, but 7 is a lot.
Yeah.
That's almost like Cowboys territory.
I hate it so much. I just like the noon kickoffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, listen, but that's going to happen. Obviously, you're going to a team that close to making it to the conference finals. And I'm tired of the debate if holiday games aren't prime time. That's fucking prime time to me.
Yes, if it's
going to be watching,
you're the only game.
Yeah. What's the argument against it though? If it's the only game, that's a primetime game. It doesn't need to be at 7 p.m. on a Monday like HBO show or something.
Agree with you. It's the NFL. When games are on, especially if it's the only game on, people are gonna fucking watch it because we're all fucking monkeys lining up for the next.
Yes.
That's just the way it is.
I will say now that the Bears are good. I don't like being the Thanksgiving game early against another good team.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I feel like there's going to be just commotion in the house and you're trying to set stuff up and food's coming out. Typically I'm not super locked in to that game. that time slot, that Lions game. But now like that has like potentially big implications. So that was my only complaint. If you're going to play Thanksgiving, I liked the Black Friday. I don't like being noon on Thanksgiving.
I have a takeaway. I got a couple actually. One, I don't really care about the schedule release because you know your opponents. So it's like you know who you're playing. It's just when you play them. Obviously, it matters when you. It's not who you play. It's when you play them. But I am very glad that they're not opening in Seattle. That was something that actually scared me because that could have been a 35-14 beatdown to open the season. Not maybe not, but like it could have been defending Super Bowl champs, obviously. Um, and then I thought the first like 5 weeks were I saw the Bears had the toughest schedule in the league on paper at this moment. I thought the first 5 weeks were like pretty you could navigate them pretty easy if you were the Bears. That's just my take. As of now, obviously things change over the course of a summer.
I don't know. I was getting a kick out of ever when the week one game like broke kind of early and everyone's like must win, and I'm like it kind of is though.
Yeah.
You can't lose at Carolina in week one, but yeah, so it's at Carolina, at home versus Minnesota, Monday Night Football versus the Eagles, at home again against the Jets, and then at Green Bay. I mean, always going to Lambeau is gonna be a dogfight, Dave. I think Philadelphia is gonna have a chip on their shoulder after what we did to them last year. I wouldn't exactly say that the first five is easy.
I'm saying
The only reason it looks easy is because the Jets are in there. That's why it looks
in Carolina. I know Carolina was a little better last year.
They made the playoffs. I mean,
but I was thinking that the Bears were going to be opening in Seattle. So going from opening in Seattle on primetime to playing against Carolina, that like instantly took it down a notch in my mind.
I mean, the stretch after that is probably the more concerning stretch. I mean, you have Atlanta, who's always kind of whatever, but then you have New England on Thursday Night Football. Then you got at Seattle for Monday Night Football, and then at home against Tampa Sunday Night Football. That's a big stretch there, going Patriots and Seahawks back to back. But yeah, I don't know. I people seem to like the holiday games. I don't prefer that either. I'm with you. Like it's just too much. When you got other thoughts in your mind, I just like to know that like the Bears on the Sunday, like that's all. You know,
I would be fine with being the third game on Thanksgiving or the Black Friday game, but that noon slot or even like the Cowboys time slot where it's like you finish your meal or you're kind of eating during that, and then it's like you're zonked. So, but no, I mean it's crazy to look at the schedule, which I know on paper is supposedly the hardest. It looks sort of manageable to me. Like like everybody's calling for a step back. I don't know that's or like the record's definitely going to be worse even if the team's better. I don't know that. Like the NFL is such a weird league. Like the Saints could be good this year with year two of Tyler. Like you just don't know.
The Bears got like by week 5 or 6 last year. It's like the Bears are only playing backup quarterbacks, but at this point of the calendar year last year, we were talking about how the Bears had a last place schedule, but it was one of the best schedules in the league.
It ended up being one of the better,
So who knows what it actually is come August and September when cleats are in the dirt.
Other note I have too is I don't know if you guys saw it sounds like if it's not announced yet, it sounds like that Nashville's the Titans are going to get the Super Bowl in 2030. They announced their plans to build a new stadium over a year after the Bears put a bid on the Arlington plot. I saw
nice.
Had Norm tweet that. So
they broke ground yet?
Titans?
Yeah. Because I drove by it yesterday on the way back from Sydney's wedding, and it looks like legit McCormick Place. It's a gigantic square like office building. I couldn't tell if that was the stadium or not, but it's directly next to the current stadium. But yeah, Chicago politics gonna Chicago politic, Ed. Brandon Johnson, our beloved mayor, is doing his best to send the Bears to Illinois or to Indiana rather. He's trying to like sewer the entire thing to get him to Arlington. So
I can't even follow. I was really like in the weeds on that for a while. I just I give up.
It's exhausting at this point.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he is trying to. obviously Brandon Johnson doesn't have the ability to pass Illinois complete legislator, but he's trying to like introduce a bill or something that would keep the Bears in Chicago. And should that bill pass, they would just automatically have to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
Something like that. Someone can fact check that. But from what I've read, if the Bears are in Indiana, it will be Brandon Johnson's fault.
All right. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, we can get on board with that, right, Ed?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Just blame Brandon Johnson.
Fine with me. All right, then. Anything else before we wrap this up?
NHL playoffs have been awesome.
Yeah.
I got the Sabres tonight. I'm concerned about that.
I have one note. I have actually, so I bet the Sox at 22-1 for $100 to make the playoffs. Like 2 weeks ago, I tweeted this slip. I am offered a cash out as of this morning, like 3:30. Let's take a look, and they are currently at. It was 6-1 yesterday, I believe.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Over just a couple of weeks. Isn't that fun?
It makes me think it's time to jump on another team in the AL because the AL is so fucking bad.
It's so bad.
Under 500. It's time to jump on someone else. And
plus 450 now.
wow.
After yesterday's win.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, then. That's a show. Anything else, guys?
Go White Sox.
Nope.
I'll see you fucking cunts in August.
All right. That's it, everyone. Thanks.
I hope you do, Dave. I hope you do.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.